Are you ready to truly scale yourself while traveling the world? This is 𝐥𝐫𝐞𝐚 Podcast Season 2, where we are diving into the life of being a digital nomad. And we have weekly guests who are either just getting started like you are or have been doing this for years. They're going to be sharing their stories, their tips, their lessons, so you can start scaling yourself while you're location independent. So if you're ready to ditch the grind, get ready to scale you. Our guest today has been traveling the world as a digital nomad for the last 10 years. As on his 18th birthday, he founded his very first company and soon after got his first travel movie screened in cinemas all over Germany. Since then, he has been producing videos for a lot of international brands such as Iglo, eBay, Peloton, and TUI Cruises in over 7 continents, as well as local companies for the places he travels to. He has multiple income streams built around a lot of his creative skills that allow him to travel non-stop while also having enough time to enjoy the things that matter to him. In his talks, workshops, and courses, Jannis supports other creatives to use their skills and turn them into revenue, enabling them to build a life that they truly love. Hey everyone, so super excited to dive into his story. Please help me welcome our amazing guest today, Jannis. Hey Jannis.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I get excited to kind of dive into your story. We kind of touched on it a little bit right before we started as well. So I'm super curious. But before anything else, walk us through who you were before you became a digital nomad.
There's not too much to say. I started quite early. I started my company on my 18th birthday, and since then I'm traveling. So I was just a regular student until I started nomading.
Got it. Okay. And I remembered kind of when I was researching a bit, looking at of like how young you did start. So I'm guessing right now, since you said earlier that this is kind of 10 years since you started the journey, that you're a little bit 28 right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Very cool. So tell us about that. What was the transition like as you started your very first business that you've basically been kind of giving you the life that you have right now? Walk us through that transition and also what your life looks like day to day.
All right, so I was always passionate about traveling, and of course, as a student, the time is very limited for traveling. I just had the summer holidays where I could do whatever I wanted to, and my dream was that once I finish school, I can do whatever I want. I can travel all those places that I've been dreaming about up to then. So I started quite early. With 15, I wrote my first business plan and started collecting ideas, gathering ideas like what I could do after school. And then right at my 18th birthday, I started my first business project, which was a travel blog. So in the summer holidays, exactly 10 years ago, last summer holidays of school, I hiked the Alps from Germany through Austria to Italy and wrote some blog articles about it and got my first sponsors that paid me for traveling and writing for their blogs. And from there on, I've been writing my first books because I want to be more independent from the sponsors, which also became Amazon bestsellers in Germany, like the travel books. And then I figured out that actually I'm not so much... I love to travel stories. I love telling the stories, but I was not excited about writing so much. So instead, I started producing videos, and I produced a travel movie for German cinema, which was screened on cinemas all around Germany. And since then, I'm all about filmmaking, and I've been producing like corporate films for clients. I've been teaching filmmaking online. That's what I've been doing the last 10 years now, and yeah, it's a regular day for me. Currently I'm traveling in a camper van with my girlfriend. In the summertime we usually travel around Europe. In the wintertime we like to go to warmer places, like Southeast Asia is very high on the list. Probably we're going to spend most time in Thailand and maybe even Philippines for the first time this winter, so I'm very excited about that. And yeah, typical day. I mean, it's very hard to say to speak about the typical day because every day really is totally different depending on where we're at. But right now, it's usually like waking up, having some nice breakfast out in nature, some coffee, of course, and then taking out laptops, doing some work, and then in the afternoon, finding some local activities to do, some water sports, some hiking, or whatever is good to do in the areas that we travel at that moment. And then in the evening, we like to cook at the camper van and eat something, play some games, talk. That's like the typical day for me.
That is amazing. That's like, it's funny because of course, like we've kind of only really just met, but like your story is a little bit parallel in mine in the way where I also started when I was 15 writing as well, and I started
Very
also
cool.
kind of getting to the path of entrepreneurial journey also at 18, and I think we're about the same age right now. I'm also actually also 28, so it's cool to kind
Very
of
cool.
see a little bit of possibilities of life and where it's at. And I have a few questions basically on your journey. So for basically, you did the writing. How long were you doing the writing part basically of your story?
So to sum it up, like the first year of my entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
was very fast paced. So I started
Mm-hmm.
in my first year of being self-employed. I started this travel blog. I wrote 2 books. I've been
Mm-hmm.
giving 3 talks on business conferences. And then just a year after I started my business, that's when I produced a travel movie. So the past 9 years have
Mm,
been in the filmmaking
got it.
industry, and it was just the first year where I started out with writing.
Got it. The reason why I kind of wanted to dive into that, because a lot of people, when they're starting on either their freelance journey or being a digital nomad, they think that, hey, I started here. This is this is the career I'm stuck at. So I wanted to kind of basically, as lack of a better term, like double click on the fact that you did switch. And now you're living this
Hmm.
life. So
Hmm.
for I'm curious as well. How many countries have you been to then?
70 now on all 7 continents.
Wow. Where's your favorite?
I'm a big. It's hard to say. I like the diversity, of course. Like I
Mm,
love spending summers around Europe because the food is so good. Like Italy is one of my favorites, of course. I do like Bulgaria now with Nomad Fest. The community is
mhm.
getting bigger and nicer. I love Scandinavia, but I think like one of my all-time favorites is Thailand. Just people are friendly, the
Ooh,
weather is nice, the beaches are beautiful, food is good. So I think
mhm.
Thailand would be my favorite if I had to pick one.
Got it. In kind of I guess I'm also really curious with someone as you're kind of growing into your business, you've kind of maintained it basically and grown it in the last 9 years basically. What was that like? What were challenges that you faced, kind of having a digital nomad lifestyle, but at the same time growing yourself and growing your business?
I think it's always a constant balance between work and life. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
of course, work is a big part of life, but I think it's always a like a renegotiation of where to put the focus, right? Like sometimes you need to put more focus into starting a new project, and it needs all your attention. But then again,
Mm-hmm.
you have to calm yourself down to enjoy the places that you travel to. Otherwise, there's no point in traveling in the first place, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always a kind of like finding the balance, like being serious about work so you can deliver good quality, but also not forgetting about like why you do all that and all about the places that you visit.
Got it. Well, speaking of quality work, then, can you describe a little bit more about what it is that you do for people who are looking into this? There might be someone or listening or watching basically who's like, hey, I want that life. What basically does that entail? Like, what is your,
Yes.
not so much your day to day as a entrepreneur, but like what it is that you do for other people?
I teach filmmaking online. I do it in German language only, unfortunately. So I think
Hmm.
for most of your audience, it's not too exciting. I've been producing corporate films for the last 9 years, mostly a lot for other digital nomads, like personal
Hmm.
branding videos and this kind of things, all the video content that they need. And more and more people start reaching out, like, "Hey, I love filmmaking. I would love to do the same." So I started my first online courses on that topic about 7 years ago, were like smaller Udemy courses. And 2 years ago, I launched my big academy as a 3 months program for people who really who really want to deep dive into filmmaking. So I teach all the filmmaking part, but also how to build a business around the creative skill, how to gain
Hmm.
clients as a filmmaker, and that's my main project now. So like I said, it's a 3 months program. So the theory you learn yourself with pre-recorded videos, and then once a
Hmm.
week we've got a call with the student groups where they get feedback for the videos, where they can ask questions, and it's always in closed groups, so it's not like one big math call with hundreds of students, but there's always one group starting at one point, so all the students are on the same level, and there's a group call
Hmm.
within the group, so we are always talking about the same, like levels of people. Yeah, I've been running that for the past 2 years now, and that's yeah, a project that I really love because people are learning so fast, and I get so many amazing questions that inspire me to produce more content and dive into filmmaking deeper myself. And also, we've got some nice community events coming up now. We in October we're going to be in Tuscany for a week with participants, so we can produce videos together. In February, we're going to travel through Thailand with a local guide, so we can film videos together on the most beautiful places. So yeah, right now I'm all about teaching filmmaking.
That is fantastic, and I love essentially what it is that you do, like how to be able to do this, but also how to do it for other people as well. So that you're literally giving other people the blueprint of how you're living your life, which is honestly one of the best ways that you can kind of grow and share what it is that you do. And I also love that basically before people were saying that video content is king, you've been essentially living that life. So that is amazing. So on that though, what's the if someone wanted to kind of pursue that, like I said, if someone was listening to this, maybe not your student, maybe someone who just wanted to be able to start because they don't know German, but if someone wanted to start, what would be kind of a first good step? Let's say there's a kid right now who's in a videography group or videography club in school, and they kind of wanted to explore this. What would be kind of a piece of advice that you would give to that kid?
First of all, I would suggest to invest into really mastering your skill, like that you maybe there is a course in your language that you can take, or just start out with YouTube, the tutorials, so that you become actually good, that you are proud of the video quality that you can deliver. That's the first step. It's not about having the best tools right away. I started with my iPhone and the GoPro, and it's how I produced my first client projects, and of course then I've reinvested into better equipment. But it's not about the technique, it's about knowing how to use it. So whatever tool you have right now, invest into the knowledge part, of course, and then as early as you can, reach out to potential clients. Right now, in the very beginning, if you don't have portfolio, it's going to be hard to convince someone to hire you, because they won't pay you money up front if they don't know what you can do for them, they don't know the quality you can deliver. So one of the first steps should be maybe reaching out to clients you want to work with, offer a free video, like a free social media reel, something small that's not too time consuming for you to produce, but where they can really get to know you and your quality. And then once they're happy and satisfied, which they should be because you invested in your skill first, then you can make a bigger project and turn them into a retainer client to produce like 4 reels every month for them for a fixed price. And this social media content is really a great way to start out, because the quality expectation is not as high as in corporate films, for example, or TV ads or cinema ads. And also people need content on a more regular basis, so you don't need hundreds of clients to make a living from it. If you've got like 3 or 5 retainer clients that need content from you every month, you're already set up for your nomad life.
That's so true. And as someone who is a content creator, as someone who has also had clients who struggle with just the basic idea of like, what is the spacing in between your head, how do you set up a little bit of your audio, or how do you make sure that your face is actually in the shot as well. Those are really important things that may seem basic for a lot of people who are getting started, but then for someone who already is juggling so many things about growing their own business, they just want to start creating video content. That's definitely where a lot of possibly your future students or a lot of the people that you've worked with can start solving those problems for people. Amazing, Jannis. Thank you. So going back a little bit on your digital nomad journey, what has been kind of either your biggest lesson or your biggest couple of tips for someone who might be getting started, maybe not in the path that you're on, but like as you've kind of gone through this journey the last 10 years, what has been kind of the major lessons that you would have wanted to tell 18-year-old Jannis as he was getting started?
I think one of the biggest struggles for nomads that are starting out right now is finding the right business model to start with. And I feel like a lot of people waste a lot of time in that phase, because really I don't think I would have gotten to the job that I'm right now with just sitting in my room and thinking about what I want to do. It was always like one step leading up to the next. Like I started a travel blog because it was the most obvious thing to do in the beginning for someone who wants to be self-employed and traveling, I guess. process. And then I figured out, I want to have my own product. So I started writing those books. And I was like, I enjoy putting the stories out, but I don't enjoy writing so much. I'm more of the visual type. So then I produced a movie, and then people reached out to me if I don't want to produce the videos for their websites as well. And so like always it was one step leading up to the next. And right now I really enjoy the teaching part. I enjoy growing that community. Maybe in 5 years there's going to be time for my next project, who knows. But I wouldn't be where I am right now if I wouldn't have just put myself out there and started with something. So whether or not you found the thing that you're super passionate about yet, I would suggest to just start and see where it takes you, because that's the only way to, like figure out what you like, to meet people that you can get you forward, to become part of that community of digital nomads, just by starting and trying it out.
That's amazing, and it's true. Like I said, so many people get stuck when they're getting started. They think they're kind of locked in to this one career or this one business that they've started. But it is always better to always even pivot. Not just okay to pivot, but it's better sometimes for you to kind of start exploring and seeing what else it is that you can do.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So my favorite question to ask on this podcast is always, as who you are right now, if we were to duplicate, have 2 Jannis's, 3, 5, let's say an army of you, there's 300 people of you, what would be the change that you would want to either influence in the world or create in the world, to kind of, as the podcast is, scale you?
So I think like one of the biggest motivators for myself, like my big why, is that I love working with people who want to live a happy life, a free life, to do something that they're really passionate about. Unfortunately, I've met a lot of people in Germany, there's the stereotype of the German hardworking person. They are good in making money, they have well-paid jobs, but a lot of people, they lose touch with the dream and they become miserable at work. And I love working with people that are building up a life that they're actually passionate about. So I did that before with my filmmaking. I worked with mostly solopreneurs with personal branding videos and this kind of things, the content that they needed to get clients for their business, something that they were really passionate about, so that they could live a free life. And now most of my students, there are people who started a career, figured out it's not what they really want to do, and now start to build a career about something more creative, something they are more passionate about. So I'm not sure what exactly it would be that I would be doing with 300 of me, but it would certainly circle around giving people the tools to live a happy, free life according to their own terms.
Got it. I love that that's exactly what it is that you're doing. It's not an ideal for you. It's actually something you're putting into action. You're teaching a lot of people how to be able to achieve that and to be able to get there in whichever part they are in their life, whether they're just beginning, they've had a career for the last 10 years, or they're a little bit in just kind of exploring what a digital nomad life could look like for them. So thank you so much, Jannis, for sharing everything else. So let us know how we can find you, how we can follow through with your journey, how other people, maybe if we were lucky enough to land a few German people on the podcast, how they can get to know you and get on your program.
I think the most easy way is to connect on Instagram at Jannis Production. If you speak German, you can also check out my YouTube. It's just my name, Jannis Riebschläger. I've got a lot of filmmaking content there, how to win your first client as a filmmaker, but also how to produce better videos. But otherwise, my Instagram is more international. It's not language restricted. I sometimes also post in English. And there you find the dates for my next free video training, where I teach you all the basics in just 2 days. And you can ask me questions, the live training. So if you speak German, feel free to hop in there. And otherwise, even if you speak English, if you like to connect on Instagram, if you've seen my stories that I'm in your country, reach out to me. I'm always happy to grab a coffee or share some stories by the campfire, and hopefully meet a lot of you soon.
Amazing. And hopefully if you do end up in the Philippines, do the same. I'll definitely follow you on Instagram right after this and kind of see where you're at. So then if you ever swing by in this part of the world, we'll be able to connect. Thank you so much, Jannis, for your time today.
So. Thank you.
So again, all of Jannis's links will be below. You guys can check it out for sure. And I do highly encourage to find him and follow through his journey. Again, whether or not you speak German, this might be a pathway that could be for you. And of course, if you guys like this episode, make sure to hit like, comment, whatever you guys can do, whichever platform you're listening, or you might be watching this over on YouTube. And if you still haven't yet, of course, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our weekly episodes here at the Scale You podcast. Remember to have a wonderful day, and with that, small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.